Feminists want the UN to censor the internet to prevent cyber violence. But what does Anita Sarkeesian define as harassment and cyber violence?
Harassment is, as someone had mentioned, it's not just what is legal and illegal, right? Harassment is threats of violence, but it's also the day-to-day grind of you're a liar, you suck, you know.
That's right, criticizing feminists or calling them out on their bullshit by saying they suck or they're liars now constitutes cyber violence. And remember, this is the same woman who thinks
everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
And what does Zoe Quinn define as harassment and cyber violence?
Trans women often face a very specific type of violence called dead naming, where people post pre-transition names.
So under this definition, referring to Caitlyn Jenner as Bruce will be treated as hate speech.
Because it's not Bruce Jenner, it's Caitlyn, and she's a stunning woman!
They're actually calling for laws and Chinese-style internet censorship to shut down anyone who hurts their feelings by disagreeing with them on the internet.
They got me tweets and it hurt their feelings, and so they had to go to the UN and they had to whine about it. I'm triggered.
The UN wants governments to use their, quote, licensing prerogative to ensure that telecoms and search engines are only, quote, allowed to connect with the public if they, quote, supervise content and its dissemination. So if an ISP or search engine doesn't comply with UN-mandated censorship of anti-feminist content, they'll be cut off from being accessible by the public altogether. The likes of Twitter and Facebook will be forced to, quote, proactively police every profile and post, reports the Washington Post. And if you think that's unimaginable, then just look at Canada, where a man faces 6 months in prison for the crime of disagreeing with feminists on Twitter. 54-year-old Greg Elliott was also banned from using the internet for the duration of the trial. And all this will be overseen by an agency which just appointed Saudi Arabia to head a key UN human rights panel, the country that is about to crucify a 17-year-old for taking part in an anti-government protest. But of course, these new rules won't apply to feminists. They'll still be free to call for the genocide of men or putting us all in concentration camps, while making bomb threats against weight loss companies and Gamergate meetups. So feminists will be free to continue to make death threats against anyone who doesn't embrace their radical ideology, but don't you dare tell Anita Sarkeesian that she sucks, or the UN thought police will be knocking at your door.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic.
Everything is sexist. Everything's offensive to people like me. Let's go through the checklist. It's all misogyny.